something small, but this really each and every year helps me out. And as a matter of fact, I had to go to $3 trees. I had to go to $3 trees just to find this item. So as we're letting everybody come on in on YouTube and Instagram, I'm just going to go ahead and go over a few housekeeping rules. I hope you all are doing amazing on this Friday. It gets dark for us at 5:30 here, so guess what? We did some planting of pansies today. We'll have a video coming out probably next Wednesday, I want to say. I think it's scheduled for next Wednesday. So we've been doing a little bit of planting because I don't know about in y'all area. So comment below and let me know if you have looked at your weather. Next week, I think next Wednesday for us, it is going to be the low of 30 degrees. And I'm like, okay, look at here now. Wait a minute, honey. We don't do those type of things, 30-degree weather, but yeah, 30 degrees back here in oh yeah, it'll be 30 degrees I think for like a couple of nights, and then we'll get back warm. It's just been so crazy. Like 2 weeks ago it was cold. The other day it was 79 degrees. Today it was like 73. Like the weather has been all over the place. If you guys can see right here, I've started my sweet potato slips. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but I actually found some purple sweet potatoes. So I wanted to go ahead and get started on the slips. I'm a little bit early, just a little bit, but I'm just like, you know what? I don't know if I'll ever be able to find these sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes, because it's really hard for me to find. When we stayed in Okinawa, Japan, purple sweet potatoes was very common over there. As a matter of fact, I remember having to make a purple sweet potato pie in Okinawa, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to taste, but it was amazing. And so I went to the health food store and I found some purple sweet potatoes. Hello, Jewel, how are you? So I said, you know what? I'm about to start me some slips. So that's what we've been doing here with our purple sweet potatoes. So if you see these in the back of me, that's what they are. I'm not going to be long because I always charge one device more than other. But I just wanted to share with you all, just in case you're out and about, I want you to pick one up too. Hello, Josie. How are you? So the first thing we're going to do is, y'all, I'm telling you, if you are not on the text message list, okay, I've been working real hard. If you are not on the text message list, please text 912-430-2700. Text Let's Grow, LETSGROW to 912-430-2700. I still have to remember it because they made us go to a 10-digit number. So let me put it in the chat on both Instagram and YouTube. But I'm telling y'all, I'm telling you, we got something coming next week. I will just advise you very strongly. I thought about it. And I said, my fiscal year, I'm thinking about work. My plans for 2022 is I want to get as many people growing as I can. So please, y'all, get on the text message list. You can also get on our email list as well, but I'm just telling you, I'm probably going to drop some things before time, just because I'm super excited about what we have in store for 2022. So YouTube, I'm going to drop it in the comments right now. Give me a chance. I dropped it in the comments on Instagram. Y'all hold on just a second because I don't want the feedback to I dropped it in the comments on Instagram. Honey, I'm going to get all this together one day, okay? One day I'm going to get all of it together, but I just got to do what I need to do until I can learn all of these systems to where they're just all integrated in one. But we on 3 different devices and we gonna get it together, y'all. And then we are going to get started. But yeah, 912-430-2700. Make sure you text the word Let's Grow. Let me put it on YouTube really quick. Y'all just hang with me here for a second, YouTube. Y'all just hang with me. Let's see. We'll say let's grow because I'm just so excited about this. We'll say text let's grow, and I promise y'all we're gonna get started because I do not want my battery to go. um I don't want it to get cut off. I got to do better because I could have put it on 2 charging devices, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it today. I hope you all are ready for the weekend. um Okay, there we go. So we got that over on YouTube. Okay, thank you all so much for that. How long can I keep my sweet potatoes in water? Let me tell you, I am super early on my sweet potato slips. Let me get them again. For those that are coming in, I'm super early on them because I just happened to go in the health food store and I said, "Oh my gosh, they got purple sweet potatoes." So I'm super early. Now this, let me show y'all, and I'll do an extensive video on it. So what I did is I made like a makeshift to where half the sweet potato is in the cup and then the other is in here. Make sure we want to keep, look at those roots, y'all. Making sure we want to keep those roots right. But sweet potato slips. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to, because it's getting top heavy, so it's like leaning over. But I'm going to, that's why they call them sweet potato slips. I'm going to slip these off, and then I'm going to put these in water. Now, here is the thing. If you want to, you can plant them up, pot them up, put them up inside. Don't take them outside, especially if you're in a cold area. Do not put this outside. Sweet potatoes are a heat-loving plant. And so you don't want to put them out there now, but I just could not risk leaving the purple sweet potatoes there. And as a matter of fact, when I went back about a week ago, they didn't have any more. I actually got, they called this um, some type of, I think it was like an Asian sweet potato, but it was really big. It hasn't started to root yet, but I actually put this in the glass. But you could see it is starting to root. This is like a fish bowl, y'all. You got to do what you got to do, honey, to do it. But you could see it starting to root. But they called this, it wasn't a normal sweet potato. It's starting to take roots. I think it was like some type of Asian sweet potato or something like that. So I got that and I said, we're going to try this out next year as well. Okay, I just didn't want it to fall. But so to answer the question is, you can plant them, but just don't take them outside. Like if you want to plant them in soil. Now, last year I started around December with my sweet potato slips because, as a matter of fact, a lot of times at the stores, starting now, the sweet potatoes go on sale. And I do get the organic sweet potatoes, but they go on sale by the pound. That's how I really started growing sweet potatoes. It was a place in Atlanta. I want to say Savanda, but they had like the reddish color sweet potatoes. They were organic, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. That's how I really got started. So I would get the organic sweet potato, and then I would bring it around November, December time. I would start it in something just like this, rooting it. And then around January, February, I would slip them off, sweet potato slips, and I would just put them in another cup of water and just let them, just make sure that the roots don't get tangled. Like once you take this slip off, you want to change the water every so many days just to make sure that you got fresh water, the roots are looking nice and healthy. And then around after our last frost. Now, because sometimes it gets tricky here around Easter time. So after the last frost, maybe like 2 weeks later, that's when I put them in the grow bags and they start growing after all danger of frost has passed for us here. But they stayed after I slipped them off of the sweet potatoes because they're going to make so many slips and you just go ahead and slip them off. So after they slip off, I kept them in a cup for at least a couple of months, but I just constantly, I would say about every 4 to 5 days, I would just change the water out, make sure I didn't put all of the slips in one cup, like I might have had 5 or 6 different cups. But I just made sure that the roots, as they were developing, like they didn't get tangled with each other. And they just stayed nice and healthy. And then about 2 to 3 weeks after the last frost, that's when we put them out. But I was so excited to see these purple sweet potatoes. I say, this is what we are growing next season, and it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be so great. Um, so a lot of times November, December, I'll slow down, but I'm still garden planning, which is what we're talking about today. And I just want to show y'all something that I have used that has really helped me. Let me put this back, but it's getting top heavy and I got to fill it up with water. So I don't want to break anything. It'll be all right until after the live. It will be a-okay. Let's see here. I want to just look at the comments really quick. Okay. So how long? So Josie, just make sure when you do plant them, whatever you plant them in, because we grew them in grow bags, that you wait till all danger of frost has passed, because sweet potatoes are a heat loving plant. So just make sure everything, no more frost. I'm telling you, around Easter time, that's what it is. It's time. Yep. Yeah. I just told somebody, Yankee Sister, today that it's really going to be 2022 before we blink our eyes. I cannot believe how quick November has went through, October has went through. Like, these months are passing by. This is why y'all let me know on Instagram if my volume messes up. Let me just do something really quick. Because I learned a trick. A lot of times the volume messed up when somebody calls, no matter how many times I put that I go live every Friday at 6. But let me know on Instagram if y'all are still able to hear me, because someone told me a trick to do when somebody calls, because a lot of times the volume messes up. Um, okay, before they go bad. Yeah, just keep the water change. Okay, and Jewel, she doesn't plant hers till Mother's Day. Okay, so yeah, you gotta know your growing zone. You gotta know your last um spring frost. And then, like I say, wait about 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, because sometimes, just sometimes, it'll start with the cold will come back. We'll have what's called a cold snap. But this is what I wanted to show y'all that I get every year, and I had to go to 3 different Dollar Trees to find this. And I know y'all gonna be like, okay, really? But let me show you, okay? Oh gosh, let me see. It may not be you. Um, Volume. I'm just gonna put volume. I hope I don't have to come back on Instagram and get back off. Oh, yep. I knew it. I knew it. Hold on, Instagram. I'm gonna go. Whenever somebody calls, I thought they said you could reply and then do it. But hold on, Instagram. We're gonna go and then we're gonna come back. Oh, okay. So let's go live. We'll go live again. Okay. I tell everybody. Okay. So I'll wait till everybody comes back on Instagram, because for some odd reason, when someone tries to call my phone, the volume messes up. And then someone said as long as you could type a comment, you can get it back, but that doesn't work. Okay, so everyone's coming back in on Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So that way, oh yeah, Jewel, you're in zone 6. So yeah, I can understand exactly what you mean. But this is what I want y'all to try to go out and get, because I'm gonna tell you how it helps me, okay? I know y'all are like, seriously, these are at the Dollar Tree. These calendars right here. Now, being that I don't know, being that I just have to write everything down, I also get these type of calendars. So I get this one, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what I do with this type of calendar. I also get this type of calendar, and I'll explain to you what I do with this type of calendar, okay? And I just saw this year, so we'll just see. They just got sticky notes on here. This is something new. I just picked this up because, it was $1. But this is what I want to show you about the big calendar. This is what, if I don't, out of all the calendars that I saw at the Dollar Tree, this one was very scarce. I had to go to at least three Dollar Trees. The other ones, they had these, they just had different ones, but this one was scarce as well. But I want to share with you what I do with the big one. I really do, because it's going to help you in the garden. It's going to help you. I always tell people, if you do not see me write it down, it's like we never talked and I forget it. Someone had to send me a text yesterday about something I was supposed to be doing for them because I didn't write it down. But this is my last year calendar, and this is what I wanted to show you about why I love these types of calendars, okay? This really helps me when it comes to garden planning. And then, like, this is a 2021 calendar, so I can look back, see around about what date I started stuff. I can make notes right here about the seed companies that we did. So for example, I'm going to put it up here. So January 31st of last year, that is when I started my ginger and my turmeric inside, okay? And I put that it was a tropical plant and I got it from the Savanda store. So that helps me know, okay, when should I start my ginger and turmeric for this year? Then also last year when I started seeds inside, I put when I start them. And then over here in the side, I just have like little notes like the seed company, where did I get them from? But what I also love about this calendar is as I'm writing everything down, when I start to see things germinate, okay, then I will go back and write, okay, this germinated on this day. Here's another one. A lot of people want to know when I started my roselle. Now remember, I'm in zone 8B, so you have to know your first fall frost, your last spring frost. Those are very important. And then also your zone. So a lot of you have purchased the roselle seeds. I hope that most of you have received them. We did another big shipment this week. So if you haven't got them, they should be in the mail very soon for you. We still have a few more. I would say probably less than 10 packs left. So if you want to get the roselle seeds, in Instagram, go on the first link in the bio. Make sure you use the code SEEDS21 to get 50% off. And then YouTube, I'll make sure I put it in the comments. But see, like last year, February, I started my roselle seeds and my moringa tree seeds then. And I started them inside under grow lights. So I love this calendar because it's big enough for me to write down everything that I need to write. I also circle the date that things germinate, so that way you can look back. This really helps with garden planning because you can look back and you can say, okay, I started my roselle seeds. How long did it take to germinate? So when you got your package, that's why it might have said it takes 2 to 3 weeks to germinate, because based on when I planted them. Now, when I start inside, I do have heat mats, I do have the grow lights, but it took about 3 weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks, but it was great germination on them. But those are things that you want to do with this type of calendar. You want to put on there when you start things, if even with transplants. So say for instance, you don't even do seeds, you want to do transplants. So you want to put when you put them in the ground, put when you put your transplants in the ground, and then also put, okay, what you can go back and do is, say for instance, you put your transplants in, and I also mark on this calendar my last spring frost as well. So that's what helps me to understand, based on what Google says for my zone, okay, my last spring frost is around March whatever. So I'll circle that date and I'll put last expected spring frost. So if I buy transplants, like I'll put out what day that I transplant something outside. But then I also make notes in the calendar, like things like, okay, we're starting to get blooms on this day. So this will kind of help you see how long does it take to get blooms, or, you know, after 6 weeks, you may start to produce peppers or something. So it's just really good for me during those winter months when I'm sitting down trying to plan out. Because let me tell y'all what I have found out, and I'm going to share this with you. So it was a pepper that I grew this year. I want to say it was called Alamo pepper or something like that. But we have cold temperatures coming next week. So I just went ahead, I pulled everything, I pulled all the peppers in that area, and then I harvested the plants. But last night we cut up those peppers, and I said, and they're like long. They look long, but when they say sweet peppers, now these you could taste the sweetness. And so I remember telling my husband last night, I said, oh, wait a minute, we growing these again. And I was like, taste this. Can you taste like that sweetness in it? So that's a good way for you also, like when you do transplants, when you do seeds, write down the variety, write down when it start to bloom, write down how the harvest was. Did you get a big harvest? Because it's some peppers that we grew, we didn't really get a big harvest. So this is going to help you. This is really, this calendar right here, during those cold months, when you're starting to garden plan for next spring, go flip through this calendar, see what did well, see what you see when you started things, see when you transplanted things in the ground, because it's going to help you be able to plan for next year. Put down the dates when you need to do certain things. So that's why I love this calendar, because around December, when I'm starting to get seeds, when I'm starting to figure out what I'm going to plant, I go back to this calendar and I put, okay, let me see, around January, I need to go ahead, get my seeds together for my ginger, for my turmeric, for my roselle. I need to go ahead and get started inside. Not saying you have to start back on the exact date, but you got a roundabout time. Now this calendar right here, I'm going to go ahead and open it. I also use this as well, just to make down different things that I have to do in the garden. So this one like keeps me on track. Plus I like to see, I always get something garden or flower related, but I will write in this as well, different things that go on in the garden, because I keep this big one like in my grow room. I keep that in my grow room, but sometimes I'll keep this one nearby my computer. So I'll write down little things that go on in the garden as well. So I did have to go to 4 different stores, three stores, and I think the 4th one I found this one. So you may have to shop around for this one, but I'm telling y'all, this is going to help you throughout the gardening season, and it's also going to help you during those cold months for some of our gardening friends who are in colder zones. So when you have snow and you can't do a whole lot outside, this is going to help you to sit down by the fire if you need to, and just look through that calendar, look through the different months, look to see what went on in the garden, because each year things may change for you. I told y'all, I also have a garden journal that I put stuff like, you know what, we had a lot of rain this year. I didn't have to water as much because I have been at night reading my Farmer's Almanac, and they were saying for Southeast, and we're in Zone 8B, Georgia, for Southeast, we're going to have cooler temps, about 10 degrees cooler than normal, and it's going to be a wet winter. I've been seeing where a lot of people say we're going to have a cold winter, what they call it, dark winter or something like that. But so far, the almanac said about 10 degrees colder and very wet for us here in the Southeast. And we're in Georgia. So I just kind of keep those things in the back of my mind. I think they said December, it was really going to be a lot of rain that was going on. Now, you know, and that's what I put in my garden journal as well. Like 2 years ago, we, on Christmas Day, y'all, it was 76 degrees. So those are things that I write down in my garden journal as well. But when I'm sitting down, planning out, looking at seeds, because if you haven't already started to get them, the seed catalogs are coming in. Y'all be careful. Just be careful with these seed catalogs because I'm telling you, these pictures get me every single time. I'm just like, okay, stop it. Just stop it. But the seed catalogs are starting to come in. I always encourage every one of you, don't wait until it's time to plant your garden and then go online and order seeds because a lot of them will be out of stock. I've learned the hard way. Like I will say, "Ooh, I want to plant this." I go online and it's out of stock. So now when they start sending them, if you have an idea of what you want to grow and you go online and start looking at the seeds, and go ahead and order them now so that you can be ready. Use your calendar, use your last spring frost, and that way you'll be able to kind of plan it out. As far as transplants, most of the garden centers, when it starts to get a little bit warmer, they'll have it as well. But you don't have to start from seeds. You could put just jot down different things on this calendar so that you can go back and look at it now. I'm ordering now. Yeah, bought a few. Yes, I'm telling you, I tell y'all, I learned things the hard way, and I just want to share it with y'all because years and years ago, I used to think, okay, just order the seeds about 2 to 3 weeks before. That don't work, especially if it's something that you've been having your eye on. They will definitely be out of stock. So what I've learned in the past is just say, for instance, as soon as I'm finishing up my summer harvest, I will start to order my seeds for next year for what I'm going to plant the summer. When I'm done with my fall harvest and my winter harvest here, like February, March, when things start to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and order my next fall harvest. That's how I do it so that I can make sure that I will have what I want to try to grow in the garden, because there's no guarantee. Because when it's getting cold and we're all in the house, and as soon as that weather warms up, everybody wants to get out. Everybody wants to get out in the garden. We want to start growing seeds. And so when you go online and it's something you've been having your eye on, you go to order it, it may be out of stock. So just start doing it. Start doing it now. Start doing it right now. So that's what I wanted to share with y'all. $1. This $1, I'm telling you, every year I'm on the lookout, because I said when I was at the store, I'm like, you know what? I should have went about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I found them and I didn't need but one. So that's all I got of the big calendar. So this December, as I'm sitting down, I'm going to go over what went on in January 2021, and then I'm going to crack open this 22, and we are going to get to planning our garden for next season, because I'm telling you, I don't know who's doing something with the time, but it's going by pretty quick, and it'll be time to plant again before you know it. So I'm going to go through some of the comments. Yes, Yankee sister, I'm trying to get myself organized as much as possible. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be, because I'm telling you right now, I got a box of seeds that I really need to like sit down and put in the storage. We use the photo storage boxes to keep our seeds, and I really need to just kind of separate them and put them where they need to be. So that's what I'm doing now, but we're getting there. We're getting organized. As long as you have a plan, that's really what matters. I'm so glad you got your Roselle seeds, Jewel. You are going to love them. We have a few more that I'm going to go out before it's 30 degrees next Wednesday, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick what's out there, because the Roselle, they are a heat-loving plant as well. They're like a tropical plant, so I can see the leaves changing on them. So I was trying to let the calyx grow the last little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and harvest and dry the rest of those. And then like you see on my calendar, in February I started the seeds again, and then we put them out in the garden after we hardened them off. That's what we did. Let's see. Started a journal. last year, maybe 80%. That's good. 80% is great. I just love looking through the journal, and you can see every season is different. And in the journal, I'll put, okay, we had a lot of squash bugs this year. I have a video that I'm going to share with y'all. It'll probably be a short on YouTube because I want people to understand. Evidently, this is the time of the year that the Mexican bean beetle hatches, and I have them like all on our chimney. But when you look at them, a lot of people may say, "Oh, those are ladybugs." They're not ladybugs. So I want to do a video on how to differentiate between the two because they're similar, but they're different. Like, I'm thinking people may say that's a ladybug, but that's a Mexican bean beetle. And I don't know where they hatched at, but they are like everywhere. I've been taking videos and I'm like, really? Really, y'all? But that's something good, like I put in the journal. And we did have a lot of squash bugs this year on a lot of our plants. We did. And those are things that I like to put down. Not too many aphids. Now, I did see a couple of white flies, but not to where it's like crazy. But just being able to put in your journal what went on during the garden season, because each season is different. And then this is going to help you know what to do like over the gardening season. So the garden journal, I'm all about it. I love it. Okay, so we got a lot of y'all that have received the Roselle seeds. And again, if you want to order, click the link in the bio on Instagram, but make sure you use the code seeds21 to get 50% off. So these are the rest of the seeds that we have left, but I'm telling y'all, the germination rate is amazing. It is really, I could have planted one per seed, but I did two just to make sure. Now I regrow. I stopped buying cheap seeds. Now I regrow by growing a local farm and grow fresh water to root, then plant. Yes, you will also learn as you put on this calendar, as you put on that calendar and you put on your journal, there are certain seed companies that I know. That's one thing I want y'all to do too. It's okay to order from certain seed companies, and I order from a lot of them, but I have tried and true companies that I know have a great germination rate. And no matter what I order from them, now, unless it's a plant that has a low germination to begin with, like some will tell you, there's some plants that the germination rate is never good. It's like 70 or below. But unless it's like that, then I understand. But it's some seed companies that every time you order, you get great results, you get great germination. And so make a note of that in your journal and on your calendar as well. If you start seeds or if you buy transplants, make a note of the brand. So that way you'll know this is how, as you continue to garden, this is how you're going to know, instead of just wasting your time, just go with what you know and what works. That's what I tell people. Like, I'm always about experimenting, and I have different places in the garden where I experiment. But when it comes to certain seeds and when I'm trying to get growing, I know the tried and true companies that I go to, and I don't have any problem whatsoever. Pressure canning. I want to pressure can like all of my greens. I did do the water bath canning on some of our peppers, metamorphosis. I did do that, but I really like this year. I really want to pressure can a whole bunch of greens in the garden. Where are you getting your turmeric from? That same store that is in Atlanta, because my dad stays by Atlanta, and I don't know if they're open right now or not. But the turmeric, they had like red sweet potato. Well, they were red on the outer skin and like orange inside, and it's called Savanda. So I'll go there, get the organic turmeric and the sweet potatoes, and then we will grow them. Now, this year I put turmeric in my fire cider. I don't know how many people make fire cider, but we make it for the fall, the winter. Keep your immune system up, okay, y'all? So I ordered organic turmeric from Amazon, and I had some left over. So what I will be doing this year, it's in the refrigerator. From what I had left over, I will I will use that and plant it. But I have heard, I have not tried this company. It's a company out of Hawaii that has the organic turmeric and ginger, what they call the seed quality turmeric and ginger. But I haven't tried them. And with those, you have to order like a certain amount. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I have not had any issues going to either the health food store or the place in Atlanta or the regular grocery store getting organic ginger, organic turmeric, and just potting them back up. I haven't had any issues with it. Now, a lot of people said that, maybe you may have different pests and diseases, but I haven't had any problems yet. But the turmeric, I'm going to use that I ordered and go ahead and plant those up. Um, I got a ton of collard seeds doing that. Yes, yes, I got my seeds from my own garden. Let me tell you, as you continue to grow, that's such a good point. Metamorphosis. Start saving your seeds. We put um, a reel up, I think, on Instagram to where our okra seeds, we let them dry on the vine, and then we save our okra seeds and we plant them year after year. If you can, save your seeds, and I'll give you a disclaimer in a minute. Save your seeds because number one, they're getting acclimated, or they're already acclimated to your zone, your growing zone, and so that just makes it a whole bunch better. You save money on it, and then they come back, so you can grow them year after year. Now, the only seeds that I don't really save is the I have said I'm gonna okay, let me just say this. So I had paprika this year, and I said I was gonna save the seeds to those. But the pepper seeds, sometimes I'll just order those because when you try to save the pepper seeds and you think about pollination, so I've heard a lot of people say, "Hey, I planted a bell pepper and it was hot." But a bell pepper is not supposed to be hot, and it may be because you save the seeds and the bees. Like you may have planted different varieties of pepper, so you may have planted jalapeno, or you may have planted, what is it, habanero. Y'all can tell I don't like hot. I don't like hot foods. What is the one? Ghost peppers. But then you might have had some bell peppers, maybe in the garden, maybe a few feet over. And so those bees pollinate, you know how bees pollinated, and they may have cross pollinated. So I have found people to say their bell peppers, their sweet bell peppers were hot, and they just didn't get why it was. And so, like the pepper seeds, I will buy, but like my okra seeds, and other seeds of the garden, if I can collect them, I will definitely do it. And Yankee Sister just put up a great comment right here. If you can overwinter your pepper, like your peppers that you love, do that as well. A lot of people in the colder climates, they'll dig them up. They will put them in a pot. They'll put them in the garage or somewhere, because as the winter months grow, like you'll still need to water them, but they kind of go dormant. And so you can do that as well. And then when it gets hot again, put those same peppers back out. But yeah, I'm building my own seed collection. And that's why I want to offer it to you guys, but I always like to test. But the Roselle seeds, those are from my garden that we have saved over the last few seasons that I'm very pleased with. And we actually got them from a farmer when I went on a farm tour a few years ago from his farm, about an hour away. Like they grow them and use them as well. But it's I do try. I'm trying my best to over time just have my own collection, especially of the okra seeds, because they do very well in the garden for us here, and they're acclimated to the soil and the climate. Okay, I'm going through the comments really quick. Okay, so we got some people that's ordering seeds. Do you prep your seeds? If so, how? Most of the seeds I don't. I just have certain methods that I like to seed start. Like, for example, we do the soil blocking, we'll do the direct sowing, and we'll do the cell trays. So the real tiny seeds, or either my leafy green seeds, I like to soil block them. Because with the soil block, you know how they say like the air pruning. And I don't know why. I can get so many. We grow a lot of leafy greens. So when I soil block, I can get like 20 plants on one little tray. And I like it because it doesn't take up a bunch of room. And then you don't have to use anything but the tray. Some of my bigger seeds, like my okra and we started dahlia seeds and cucumbers and squash. We do the cell trays for that because those little soil blocks are small, and you're gonna harden them off or put them out, or you're gonna have to pot them up. Like you can't let the soil blocks, the little soil blockers that I start with, you can't let that stay there long. Now I have an attachment for the soil blocker where it makes the block, and then you put that little small one in a bigger one. But um and then like my root vegetables, like my carrots, I like to direct sow those because I'm not gonna be trying to hurry up and put them out. So I direct sowed some. We just direct sowed some carrots and some more radish. We just did that. Radish is it's so super cool. I don't know where I was as a child because I didn't eat radish as a child, but now I slice them up real thin, and they were like the ones I grew like last night. I was like, ooh, you could taste that little bite to it. The breakfast radish are not as like a little spice to it, but I don't know. This is the season where I'm starting to love like the radish for some odd reason. I said I was going to pickle some as well and roast some. I don't, it seems like each season I have something like that's like a favorite or something like that. So radish this season, because it's so quick, I'm like, oh yeah, I love these. I save a lot of seeds. I have a small greenhouse. Yes, 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 yes. Young Beauty, 614. That is the best way to go. So on YouTube, Young Beauty 614 says she saves a lot of seeds, that's one thing we want to start to get into. I have a small greenhouse in my yard, so that way you can go ahead and start seeds a little bit earlier. And a greenhouse is so good to have. So I am all with the greenhouse because you can either pull your plants in the greenhouse when it gets too cold, or you could start seeds earlier. A greenhouse is something very good to have. And yes, saving seeds, save those seeds as much as you can. Let's see here. Let's see. So true. Okay. Yeah, I get so mixed up trying to go through these comments on YouTube. Okay, so we talked about where we're getting turmeric from and the collard green seeds. I get my seeds, okay, from my own garden. Yes, okay. Yeah, exactly, Metamorphosis. In 2020, there were no seeds to buy. So yeah, I think I might have went overboard. I might have went overboard. And that is really like I've always saved seeds from the garden, but now I'm like, okay, you really got to be saving these seeds too because you just don't know. But yeah, 2020, so many seed companies were backed up, so many seed companies were out, and then it was just like a lot of the local garden centers, if you looked at their racks, they were like out as well. So if you can, try to save those seeds. Now, we'll talk on another live. We'll talk on another live about the difference between open pollinated, hybrid, F1, all of that, because I mean, you could really get detail into it, but let me tell you this. When it comes time to plant that garden and have some food, you better save them seeds because somebody on YouTube, was like, no, you can't do that, this, that, and the other. And I understand about open pollinated, heirloom, F1, hybrid, all of that. But when you come down to nobody having any seeds, save your seeds. Save, that's all I got to say. Save, it may not be like the parent plant, but at least you got something growing. And that's how I feel on that one because yeah, they left me a comment and I'm like, yeah, I understand about the whole saving seeds things, but when you can't find seeds anywhere and all of the seed companies are out, save your seeds. And you will at least have something. It may not be the parent plant, it may be the child plant, it may not be like the plant that you planted last year, but you'll have something, and that's how a lot of hybrids are made. They take characteristics from one plant, the good characteristics from another one, and then they, put the good characteristics in there. So we just got to be mindful about that. I know, Jewel. I have too many seeds, but I do share them, and I love sharing them. Okay, Metamorphosis, always get the Dollar Tree Christian calendar. Yes, I love those calendars. I got the yellow with black ladybug. Imposter ones are everywhere and they bite. Yes, those orange ones. Are you talking about the Mexican bean beetle? Because they're like an orange red color, orange red, and I'm telling you, they're not ladybugs. They're not ladybugs, and we just had a whole bunch hatch. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of it before it's all over. Hopefully, this cold weather will do away from them. Is it better to buy turmeric from the grocery store or online? So the turmeric that I got, Yankee Sister, the only reason why I got it online is because when I went to the health food store, it's hit or miss with them. So I went to the health food store. Sometimes they'll have it. The week that I needed it to make my fire cider, they didn't have it. She said that they were, backed up. A lot of orders were backed up. It didn't come in. So that's why I ordered it online. But in the past, I have went to the health food store or the place in Atlanta, Savanda, and I've got it from there, and I have planted it just like that. Turmeric is great for people with HIV. It has so many great properties to it. Like, I will use it in tea. I'll make some with a spice in it. Great anti-inflammatory. Let me tell you. Okay, wait a minute. I got to do a disclaimer. It's known to be a great anti-inflammatory because I'm not a doctor. But people with arthritis, and because I had my mom taking turmeric pills, because it's great anti-inflammatory. So if you know someone, always do your own research, and always talk to a doctor, especially if you're on other medications. But turmeric has some great properties, to it. And the thing that comes to me is just like the anti-inflammatory. Instead of taking like the aspirin all of the time, the turmeric is great. But like, I gotta tell y'all, like, I try to help my family out, but I have to tell them, talk to your doctor because you're on medication. And then just like with everything else, with some things, you know how your body get used to them. Take a break, don't overdo it, and then let your body reset and do it again. But that was just a side note, because my husband told me about somebody who just went overboard with what I told him to take. Dandelion, and I'm just like, now see, I didn't tell them that. I told him 10 days to get off, but that's okay. I'll call them later. I'll call them later. Thank goodness okra puts out a lot of seeds. Yes. Oh, my dog ate one of my envelopes. Oh my gosh, full of the okra seeds. My Yankee sister says her overwintered peppers produce so well this year. I keep one variety of each type to overwinter. That's a great way. That is really a great way. And now you make me want, well, I pulled up all but maybe, I think I got maybe 3 more left. But I'm going to try that, Yankee sister. I'm going to try to do it and do it in the garage and just overwinter it, especially like my favorite ones. Overwintering is basically, okay, so just say, for instance, you love peppers. Peppers do not tolerate the frost. So what a lot of people do is they will dig up that plant and they will maybe take, just take a few leaves off. You want to leave some leaves on there. You want to leave a few, but maybe take a few off, and then they'll plant it in a pot and put it like in their garage, or they'll bring it inside. Now, if you're going to bring it inside, just kind of prep it before you do, because if you had any type of insects or something like that, you want to make sure that you maybe take off, like the first couple of inches of soil. So you want to prep it before you overwinter it. But just basically it's taking that plant, putting it in the growing conditions that it loves, because it does not tolerate the cold. And so, like, for me, I will put it in my garage. You're not going to have to water it at first, and it's going to look a little down. It's going to look a little down during the winter, but just make sure, you water it. When you open up your garage, it's getting a little light and stuff like that. And then, after all danger of frost has passed, you could take that same plant and you could put it right back in your garden and it will start to grow again. So that's a great way to do, like, especially if you have some favorite things. Do green collard mustards go to seed when they are no longer going to produce? So for us, Betty, the our leafy greens are cool weather plants. So once it starts to heat up for us here, you'll see that stalk come in the middle. They'll produce these little yellow flowers. You let them continue to flower. After the flower, they'll start to put on those seed pods. And then you could do that. So a lot of the cool weather plants that do not like the hot weather, they'll bolt. That's when you hear a lot of people say bolt, that's what they're saying. So they're going to bolt. They're going to send up this flower stalk. Most of the leafy greens is going to be little a flower stalk, and they're going to have some of the prettiest yellow flowers that you will see. The bees love them so much. And then after they fall off, you'll start to see on the stalk little seed pods that are starting to create. So you leave them on there. Now I like to let them dry on the stalk, and it's probably because I'm just like, I got more time to do something else. So I let them dry there. And then you can take that and you can save the seeds and do it and plant them next year. So that is how the greens go, and that's how a lot of people do their greens. I learned how to prepare my overwinter peppers from many YouTube videos. Okay, peppers are perennials. I didn't know that until last year. I'm telling you, I tell somebody YouTube University, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot. Cooked radish is delicious. I definitely have to try. I want to roast some. I want to pickle some because I'm telling you, we have like the little cherry bell radishes that are growing right now. It takes about 21 days. Super cute, but I'm just like, these are really good. Where have I been all of this time? Try Ayana's masterclass, very thorough gardening information. Thank you, Yankee sister. And I'm telling y'all, we got some more. That's why I said 2022 is my goal for everybody. Even if you're thinking about it, if you haven't tried it, my goal is to get somebody to grow. I want to get everybody I can to grow. I don't care if you go grow one thing. And so I've been listening to the comments that I get. I've been listening to the DMs. I've been listening to the emails. And so we got some good things that are coming, and we're going to keep you posted on it. I'm trying to get better about, y'all know how I like to talk so much. So I'm trying to get better. Like, my daughter told me, just write down different things, the important things you want to talk about, because I can go down a rabbit hole off in la la land. And a lot of people got to bring me back. Even on this live, you got to bring me back because I will go off, and I don't want to put out information that's going to confuse you. I don't want to put out information like, okay, wait a minute. I just want to put out what you need right now to start growing, what you need to do to start growing. But yes, the Seed Start Masterclass is amazing because it's going to, no matter where you stay, it's going to tell you what you need to do to start seeds for your zone, no matter what you see on social media. Like, I really love that class. I do. That's like one of my babies, that Seed Start Masterclass, because it takes so many questions out of, is it time for me now? Is it time for me now? You're going to know. You're not even going to have to ask these questions anymore. Not pulling them up, but allowing them to be planted during the winter months. You may need to cover them, but come spring, they will come produce. Yes. Now, if you stay in, like Josie said, with the peppers, if you stay in a milder zone, you can mulch it real good. Put you some mulch over there, because the mulch is going to help, the temperatures. Is going to help keep those temperatures regulated, kind of warm, keep that soil warm. And if you stay in a warm enough zone, you can leave them in the ground. That's how we do with our dahlias. A lot of people pull their dahlias up and they store them, but we're able to put about 2 inches of mulch over the dahlia patch. And every spring, when it starts to get hot again, you'll see them emerge from the soil. I'm so thankful I don't have to pull those dahlias up. The only time we'll have to pull them up, like I may pull them up, we'll say next year, like if I want to divide the dahlias and save some and share them, the tubers, then we can pull them up like that. But I'm just grateful that we can mulch them really good and just um, don't have to do it. Great point, Jewel. Let me tell you what she said about the turmeric. Use turmeric with fresh cracked pepper. So even if you take a turmeric supplement or you take turmeric, add black pepper. Black pepper is going to help with the absorption of the turmeric. I'm so glad you brought that up. Black pepper and turmeric, the black pepper is going to help with the absorption. So definitely take those two together. Most of the supplements that you see, it'll say that they have the black pepper in there, and that's the reason for that. You can keep yours in the ground. I have to keep mine in a 5-gallon bucket and keep them in the garage. Okay, so Yankee Sister keeps hers in the garage. That was one step I didn't do last year and got a lot of aphids that attacked my summer seedlings, put them in quarantine. Yeah. Yeah. About if you're going to bring something in, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks before, just kind of prep it, kind of go around the soil. You may want to add like some diatomaceous earth. So if you have any little critters that think they want to get inside, you just go ahead and stop them in the tracks and say, okay, your time is up. I'm so glad, Metamorphosis, that you are joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Metamorphosis is in Maryland Zone 7A. And let me tell you, you and me both, Yankee Sister, gardening, I always tell people gardening is a journey. After all the years that you do it, you're going to learn something new every single season. A lot of times I learn stuff that'll help with the process. Like how do you say? It's like a better, you know how you learn a better process with doing stuff. It may be quicker. It may be something more efficient that maybe you've been doing in the past that it may help you. And I'll use a good example. Remember I told y'all I used to be out there for 2 and 3 hours watering. Okay. So when you start to garden and you start to learn and you start to learn from others, honey, get you some irrigation, put it on a timer, and you can go weed instead of sitting up there holding that hose watering your garden. I'm telling you, I've spent a lot of hours just watering. And when I finally say, you know what, I'm gonna do some drip irrigation because we keep expanding and that's gonna mean more hours. But gardening is a journey. You're gonna learn and you are gonna learn something new every single time. That's why I'm constantly reading. That's why I'm constantly taking other class. I'm constantly doing something so that whatever I learn and test, y'all know I always like to test. So whatever I test, I'm going to bring it back to you guys to help you also be able to get those processes down where it'll shorten your time out in the garden as well. So let me see really quick. Can we talk about how gardening and using compost tea make our food taste like steak and grocery store taste like pepper? Compost tea is a great thing to make sure you do. Now, y'all know we do the vermicomposting, which is the worms that are breaking down all of the scraps that we have, all of the paper, all of the leaves. So that's a great way to feed not only your soil, but we take compost tea and we also feed the leaves too. It's like a great way for the nutrients to get right into the plant is when you go ahead and feed those leaves too. So compost tea, worm castings, you will hear me say again and again and again, when you start to garden, if you start to really focus on the health of your soil, over time, build good soil. When you start to build that good soil, you will notice that the plants will have a better immune system, and then you could pretty much put like your garden on autopilot. You're still going to need water. You're still going to need, the nutrients, the sunlight, the air, but put some focus on your soil and build like good, healthy soil. Because when you have things, the different insects and the different critters that come, a lot of times nature will take care of itself and it won't attack your plants. Hello, good hair, good body. How are you? So that's what I wanted to tell y'all, that $1 tree item, $1 tree item that you need to have in your life. So go ahead and see if they got them at your local Dollar Tree. because while you're in the house, whether it's under snow, whether it's under rain, go back through your journal, go back through your calendar, and look at what went on the previous season, so that way you can start planning for your next season, and you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to remember. I said if I write it down, it's like it never happened. So this will also jog your memory on when you need to get started based on your zone. All of this stuff you don't even have to remember. You're going to write it down, and you're going to write it down on this Dollar Tree. You're going to write it down on the Dollar Tree calendar. So let's see. We had a few more comments that came in. And if y'all don't want anything this big, you don't have to get it. They have other sizes as well. I just keep this in the grow room so that as I'm starting my seeds, as I'm doing different things in there, I can go back and I can look and see what's going on. Okay, let's see here. So now we have one helpful thing I get is baby diapers. I rip out the section that has the moisture crystals and add them to my potted plant soil so it won't dry out too fast. Let me read that again, Instagram, that Josie said, because I bet you those are the same crystals that they that they put in there. I know exactly what you're talking about. So she gets the baby diapers and rip out the section that has those moisture crystals and put them in her potted soil because that will hold in the moisture in the potting soil. So it's probably, if you've seen the potting soil at the garden centers that said Moisture Max, and then I've also seen those crystals as well at Walmart. Probably same thing, the same thing for $1. Okay, don't sleep on the Dollar Tree. I go there every around, and we'll be doing another haul around December because for us here, that's when they start to put out all the garden stuff. So probably around mid-December, after the holidays, they'll start to put that out. So we'll do another haul. We'll see what they have new each year because every year they have something new. I cored and peeled 5 pounds of apples, ran the scraps in the Ninja, and poured it on my plants. And that's how you get, that's all about building soil. That's how you get the nutrients back in your soil. And that's why I said just compost, even if you just have a small area, and you can make your own compost bin. You could use like the plastic storage bins. Like, it's all ways of doing it, but the main thing is to make sure that you're building your soil over time because you want your soil to take care of your plants. I've layered over so many years with homemade compost and shredded leaves. Yankee sister, I saw your Instagram where you were shredding the leaves, and that is a wonderful way to make sure you build your soil as well. Make you some leaf mold. Take those shredded leaves, use them as mulch for the garden because they're going to break down over time and they are going to put the nutrients back in the soil. So don't put those leaves out to the road for the people to go put them in the trash. Use those leaves for your garden. Okay, so okay, Josie gets I'm not sure what they're made of, but I have saw those crystals. Metamorphosis use the mulch. Yes. So mulch is so good for all different types of things. I really like it for just kind of regulating the soil and just depending on the type of mulch you use. Like if you use the leaves, if you use the wood chips, over time they're going to break down and just put the nutrients back into the soil. Yep, you got to think outside the box when you do. And sometimes, like I was telling somebody, sometimes you just got to go back to the basics. A lot of times they put all this high-tech stuff out, but sometimes, honey, just go back to the basics, go back to what you was taught, and go back to what you know. And that will help out a whole lot, I'm telling you. But the leaves, that is great. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll tell my husband, hey, don't put the leaves out to the road. Just take them. We put them in a bag. You can either make the leaf mold out of it or you can take that as mulch. And if you have raised beds, if you have like the regular beds, put the mulch. Just think about when you're doing stuff, think about nature that nobody touches. Think about the woods that nobody touches and how you see things go. and how you see things grow and they flourish out there. And sometimes we have to mimic what you see in nature. Now I'm not one for walking in the woods. I'm not one for walking in the woods like that. But if you just need from afar, go look at how nature takes care of itself. Nobody is out there in the woods doing all of this stuff. They just kind of, nature takes care of itself. So you see how the leaves drop and it feeds that soil, and then, things go dormant and then they come back up in the spring. That's exactly how we need to be replicating this garden. It works. That's why I say go back to the basics, because it works. Okay, let's see. Charcoal holds water too. Yes, I have. I got to do some more research on that, Jewel, because I have seen where that is coming very popular, as well. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get off here. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I know I said it was going to be short. I know I did. But we had a good time today. But the main thing is, once again, y'all, if you are not on our text message list, I'm going to give you the number one more time: 912-430-2700. If you are not on our email list, get on it. Get ready for next week. Okay? I think I'm insane for some of the stuff that I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it because for 2022, we're going to all be growing. But I will tell you, it's going to be a timer on it. It's going to be a timer on it. And then once it's gone, it's gone. So make sure you're on the text message list. Make sure you're on the either or both. You can be on the text message list, you can be on the email list, but you need to get yourself on the list. You need to get yourself on the list, and make sure you watch out for it, because it will. I'm not going to tell y'all a story. It's going to be a timer on it, but it's going to be good. And I'm also going to be sending out some additional information as we're creating more content. I will tell you up front, container gardening, we're going to create something on that. A lot of you have asked about growing herbs and tea gardens and herbal gardening. So we are definitely, that's like one of the most popular. So I'm definitely going to be working on a lot of stuff. Y'all know how I just go so much. I just got to condense it and just put the very important stuff on it, just so we can grow. If we want to grow herbs, we can get the tea garden growing, but that's coming up next, because I've heard a lot of people that have reached out and asked me about growing herbs. So that is on my 2022 list to have. I have me, family and friends and grandbabies looking out and collecting bags of leaves. Yeah, throwing away. People just throwing those bags of leaves, putting them out to the road. Y'all get them leaves. Get them, get those leaves. Now, for us here, and I don't know if y'all have a snail and a slug problem. Now, we do have to kind of break them down. That's why I tell my husband go over them with the lawnmower. But Yankee sister she done made me want to get my leaf mulcher. I'm gonna just go on Amazon and get it. She just made it look too easy. But we do have to break ours down just a little bit, because the snail and the slugs, like, they love the environment of the moist and the wetness. And so that's how we do it. But I'm telling you, we now the leaves are falling, so you see a lot of it, a lot. So again, we're on every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I won't talk to y'all again. So you all be safe, enjoy your holidays, have a great Thanksgiving. Yes, Josie, the herbs, they're coming. They are coming. I'm just trying to narrow it down, some of the most popular herbs, because it's so many herbs I can go into, and I'm like, look, don't put it too much to where people are like, okay, that's enough. So I'm just trying to get the most important ones. So what I will do is I'll probably send out a poll or something like, what are some of your top herbs that you want to know about? So you guys, you be safe, have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk again if nothing happens next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you get on the text message list, and make sure you get on the email list, because something may just drop. Something may drop. So I'll talk to you all later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.